keep thinking I'm starting my mic when I'm still on mute, but now it has started. And I'm not gonna stream with a border. I'm just gonna show my border real quick. I used it a few streams ago. I like the idea of having my Twitter on the border, but I also feel kind of bad having a border because I really like the artwork of a lot of visual novels I'm doing. So I'm just gonna show it at the beginning for anyone who wants to follow my Twitter. But I will be playing without the border because I like showing off the nice artwork in these visual novels. So there's my Twitter. Goodbye border. I'm gonna play full screen to show the nice artwork of the game. And we left off right after they came back from a hot spring, and they are now turning in for the night. So let's load our data for that. And real quickly before we start, so based on just the clarity of my voice over these streams and statistics from YouTube, I feel like an hour and a half is a solid playtime for the visual novels. So I'll stick to that, which might mean I'll finish the novels I'm doing sometime next month, but we'll see how it goes. And for those who do turn in live, I want to thank those who do turn in live, who I got those statistics from. Again, most views I get, I've mentioned, come after I go live. But there are some people who do tune in, and I got to use those statistics to kind of feel out a good time. And I also just really appreciate the support of whoever you are turning in live. I appreciate knowing that there are those who are watching live. So I have the chat on the side for anyone who wants to chat. Granted, the way I see this, it's like story time at the library, like the storyteller comes in on the weekend at the library to read books to the kids. So I'm also happy if you're just streaming this in the background as you do whatever work you're doing. But thanks again for those who are watching live. So we're going to pick up here where Lynn is now turning in for the night after a nice hot spring day, or evening rather. All right, so with Lynn, perhaps she is right about the hot spring. The water might have made it easier to fall asleep. I wonder what tomorrow will bring. Have you been waiting long, Ai? Nothing escapes you, huh? We both know the reason why. What did you want to discuss at this time? Did you tell her anything? About you? Of course not. I won't break our agreement. Good. I have a question for you, too. I am not obligated to listen. Unlike Lynn, I don't need to seek your permission to ask. Though in the same vein, you are not obligated to answer. I may oblige you if it amuses me enough. What is your intent with her? She is my house guest. I've gotten the impression she thinks she is your servant. That is not what you told me before. How odd, since you're my servant. How did she get here? The agreement is applied to everyone in this residence. No one is allowed to talk about a person's history. That person shall be the only one to voluntarily offer such information. It is quite unbecoming to gossip about another person's business, after all. Understood. As honest as I am in comparison, she is cut from a different cloth. And that is why you find her so intriguing. Indeed, humans sure like to lie, her included. I wouldn't describe it that way. It is a useful survival mechanism, I am sure. Fortunately, she does it without malice, or conscious consideration, it seems. Perhaps I should teach you the nuances of human language and intention. That would be well appreciated. Another time, though. I should leave you be. One last question. If you must. Her nightmares are... She will be fine. The dreams will pass. It is unfair to her when she already has fears of drowning. I am well aware of that. I already have plans to aid her. I see. She is my charge. I will care for her. Understood. Oyasumi. Oyasumi nasai. Will she ever open up to me? What a relief. No nightmare this time. At least if there was, it was one I can't remember. I wonder what's in store for today. After getting dressed, I comb my hair a bit to remove the tangles. Noise wafts over from the dining room next door. Alright, here we go. I see Jinhai placing down our bowls as usual. She looks over as she hears the door slide open. Good morning. Ai is sitting in her usual spot, watching Jinhai set everything up. Good morning. You should wake me up to help you set up next time. This is Jinhai's job. You need not interfere. It's good to sleep as much as you need, and I can manage. Thank you, though. It doesn't feel right, though. I understand. Ai looks at me, as with a perplexed expression. It's like she's trying to read my thoughts. Better change the conversation. How did you sleep, Ai? Satisfactory, as always. I'm glad to hear. How about you? Any dreams? I slept well. No dreams this time. That is fortunate. Fortunate. She starts to nod, but is instantly distracted as Jinhai places a bowl before her. An identical dish is set in front of me. Alright, everything is set. Ai scans the table but looks unimpressed. There is still no meat. That may be, but I have a surprise. Why don't you both open it up? Taking off the lids reveals another new egg dish. Huh. What is this? This is known as a hot spring egg. The hot bath place? Yep, that is part of the cooking process for these eggs. Ai lifts the bowl and gulps down the egg in one go. Well done. I approve of this dish. Am I supposed to swallow it whole? Here's a spoon. Eat it bit by bit. Oh, phew. I'm not sure where to begin, but I poke at the white area with the spoon. It comes apart in a jelly-like manner. Expecting the yolk to do the same, I'm instead met with a surprise when I touch it. Huh. The yolk is solid. Yes, isn't that really unique? The yolk cooks, yet the white remains soft. Upon finally taking a bite, I am immediately overcome by the combo of soft, almost milky whites that mix with the unique creamy yolk texture for a delicious mouthful with a hint of sweet and salty undertones. This is amazing! Jinhai gives me a big smile. Where's yours, though? Oh, there were only 2 eggs. Would you like some of mine, then? No, please enjoy it to the fullest, since it's your first time. Yes, I'm sure Jinhai has eaten plenty of it before. She's right. Please, eat. They've already begun eating as I stare at my half-eaten dish. Then why don't we start storing up eggs? I immediately cover my mouth. Oops, why did I say that out loud? Sorry, forget I said anything. I think it's a wonderful idea. How about you, Ai? But eggs... I'm not getting any type of meat otherwise. I will figure something out to alleviate that. You mean you'll go hunting? That will not be necessary. Again, we have eyes. This happened last time. I eyes Jinhai suspiciously. She looks at me, but I have trouble meeting her eyes. Very well. I will hold you to it. We return to our meal in a quiet manner. Not for long, though. What's so funny? I was thinking up a name for your chicken. Oh, what did you have in mind? Phoenix talons. Ai's comment almost makes the soup I was sipping go down the wrong pipe. Braised chicken feet. Really now. Jinhai pats me on the back. Oh, Ai, people are trying to eat here. Fine. then I shall suggest a more serious name. What is it? Kin. Ai has a wicked smile on her face, but the humor is lost on me. I glance at Jinhai as though she's an Ai translator. She is naming the chicken after me. My name is pronounced Kin in her language. Oh, that's better then. Then it is agreed. I hereby name thy chicken Kin. Jinhai shrugs and leans over to whisper in my ear. At least she's less likely to eat something she's named herself. I suppressed my giggle in fear of offending Ai. Talking about me now in secret, I see. Only good things, Ai. They seem to give each other a stare down with a smiling contest. If I didn't know better, I'd say they sure like to tease each other. Now what do you plan to do today, Lin? With her attention now having turned to me, I put down my spoon. Actually, I'm not sure. Ai tilts her head at me. Is there anything you wish to do or learn? While I'm here, now that you mention it, I would like to learn how to cook. Oh, you don't know how? Yeah, sad to say. As you know, my family was a large one, so my older sisters took care of most of the cooking. The rest of us were assigned the cleaning chores. Ah, I see. I would love to teach if you find me suitable. It would be a pleasure to learn under you. Your dishes have been amazing. Then it is settled, as long as you continue to do your tasks, Jinhai. That won't be a problem, goddess. Ai's brows seem to say she's a bit offended, but she covers it with a smile. This is how it's gonna be from now on, huh? Navigating between these two. We finish eating without further incident. Today, do you plan to... Okay, let me grab my notes. I had notes for the order I want to do things. I think we want to start with Jinhai. Let me grab my paper that I left here. Okay. Yes, I do believe, I'm like 90% sure I want to oscillate starting with Jinhai, so we're going to learn to cook first. Alright. Gonna learn to cook. I'd love to start those cooking lessons. Wonderful. I will need to borrow Lin then. We will be leaving the premises. Ai looks at Jinhai with an uncomfortable look. Don't worry, I plan to keep my word. True. I know where you'll be at all times anyway. It works both ways. What are they talking about? When you're ready, we will leave shortly. Will I need to bring anything? Just be prepared to walk between trees and bushes. Okay. Ai gives me one final look before making her way to the garden. I will see you both later then. My words barely come out in a whisper. Are we escaping now? No, we are not. On that, I will need to request your patience. For today, we will be foraging. Foraging? I'm looking for a few rare ingredients in order to satisfy Ai's cravings. We're, not gonna hunt though, right? Nothing like that. I'll meet you in the garden. All ready to go? As ready as I'll ever be. Great. Then let's be off to the forest. After you. We're back here again, huh? Are we planning a route? No. When you leave, you will do so without contention. For now, I hope you enjoy our little hike. This is part of my cooking lesson. Yes and no. It is rather non-standard education. I will teach you more properly once we get home. I thought you would enjoy some fresh air away from the house. Oh, thank you. She's very considerate. What should I be doing? Oh, nothing really. Jinhai lets out a mild chuckle and begins to poke around between the trees. You just want me to stand around? You can, I'm looking for mushrooms. Oh, that's your grand gesture for I. With a bit of luck, I may be able to find one or two of the ones I have in mind. Such as... Have you heard of Hen of the Forest? We're looking for a wild chicken in the forest. No, it's a type of mushroom that tastes like chicken. It's quite small and looks like a brown layered bush. That sounds neat. I'll keep my eyes out. Anything else? Have you seen a termite mound before? I think so. You mean we're also looking for termite mushrooms? Yep, and it also tastes like chicken. To make it easier, let me know if you see any mushrooms and I'll confirm for you. Oh my god, I feel like Jinhai wouldn't trip on her words, but I did. You never know. We might find some medicinal mushrooms as well in the process. We inspect the undergrowth in comfortable silence. I've been wondering, how do you know these two mushrooms taste like chicken anyway? I thought I remembered you saying you were a vegetarian. Ah, for a time I was at one monastery that collected morning alms. We ate whatever was offered to us, then nothing past noon. So that's when you ate meat. Yes, it was the first time since my monastery days, though I never grew fond of it and returned to my regular diet after I left. Why did you leave? Well, I have a habit of traveling and experiencing the lifestyle of local monasteries. My current situation is simply... Well, I am just a washout monk. You mean you're no longer a monk? Correct. Wow, that's unexpected. I wonder why. Oh, I found another mushroom. Wonderful. Oh, I forgot to look up the pronunciation. I took Chinese class for like a month on a study abroad program, so I do remember that's the flat tone with the line. You found shonggu. I hope that sounded more or less correct. What? Ah, let me translate. I would call it shiitake, and you'd know it as nyam huang, I believe. Honestly, I kind of feel like I wouldn't call it anything since it's not meat. Oh, wow, why did I not recognize that? That would be because it's fresh. While we talk, we start picking the batch. When dried, it has a smokier, earthy flavor, and looks quite different. That's what you're most likely familiar with. Ah, I see. What's the one we're after growing anyway? Growing on, sorry. What's it growing on anyway? Dead, rotting trees. Circle of life at its finest. Aha, yes, here's one of them. Jinhai rushes over to a fallen tree. Her hand comes up, holding some bushy brown things. It does kind of look like feathers on a bird. That's the hen of the woods? Correct. This will do nicely. Jinhai is staring at the trees around us, and then the sky. She nods to herself, pleased with the result. What are you doing? I'm taking note of our location. This mushroom is special as it can regrow in the same spot over time. Ah, so we can farm it for Ai's meat obsession. Yes, that was a very good haul. Thank you for your assistance. I really didn't do anything. She pats me on the shoulder. You didn't have to help me either, so I'm thankful. We had better head back before Ai starts to worry. Her. Worry. The very idea seems preposterous. Her words never match her actual behavior. You shall see. As Jinhai said, I was there watching us on our way back. She and Jinhai engage in the usual banter, but her tail indicates otherwise from her snappy dialogue. Kinda like a dog's tail now. I stifle my laughter when Ai looks over. Did you enjoy yourself? Oh yes, I learned a lot about mushrooms. Mushrooms, huh? That sounds dreadfully boring. It's a fun scavenger hunt, really. I see. Your cooking lessons are not yet done, then. I shall seek you out later. Okay. Jinhai heads to the kitchen with me in tow. Are we going to cook now? Jinhai is taking inventory of the vegetables. It is a bit early for that. Oh, I see. What are you doing right now? Preparing the mushrooms for drying. She cleans our harvest free of dirt before heading out to the garden. How did you plan to do it? The weather is beautiful today. We should take advantage of the sun. Although finding a good spot may be difficult, Kin likes to eat mushrooms. Kin. I keep wanting to say kin, like family kin, but kin. So I believe it's Japanese for like gold, kin. Kin likes to eat mushrooms, but it's not good for her digestion if it's raw and whole. How about the roof? At that, we both look at the roof. Might be a bit tricky to get up there, though. I can do it. I'm really good at climbing and haven't fallen in a long time. I don't know. If you give me a small boost, I can definitely get up there. I think we should make a ladder. But you said we need to take advantage of the sun while it's still up. We can make a ladder later. I do my best to plead with her. Really, this is nothing. Well then, since you're so certain. She cups her hands together and helps boost me up to the roof. See? No problem. Now hand them over. A flat bamboo holder and a bag of mushrooms soon sit next to me. Keep the mushrooms apart from each other on the holder, please. Jinhai is watching me from below as I work on separating the shiitake mushrooms. Done. Good work. What are you doing up there? You are not a monkey. Ah, it's I. I'm back to the monkey thing, I see. I'm helping her dry the mushrooms. I can see that. Let me help you down. But it's not done. Ai's voice floats down from below, a tad shriller than usual. I would not like to see you splattered on the ground. That's morbid. It's okay. I know not to overestimate myself. This is easy for me, really. I know my limits. Ai watches me with an unblinking stare, her tail twitching erratically, but eventually... Wow, that is a word I'm not used to saying. Acquiesces. That is a good vocab word. Very well then. If you are so sure, then I shall refrain from forcing you. She said that, but is still watching me like a hawk. I try to devote my attention to sorting the mushrooms again. Do not stray so close to the edge. Take care that you do not slip. Under Ai's constant advice, my focus and confidence is starting to wear down. She is not a child, you know. Neither adult humans nor children are immune to breaking their necks from foolish stunts. Perhaps it is best to go with Ai for now, Lin, or she'll worry herself half to death. Ai springs up to the roof with a powerful flick of her tail and stares. Then are we finished now? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I don't think I can get any more done right now. Before I can start heading down on my own, Ai picks me up and hops off the edge, then sets me down on the grass. Jinhai smiles at me and then mouths, "Sorry." I'll come get you when it's time to cook then. I'm not sure when she went to get it, but Jinhai is holding a large, broad blade I recognize from the kitchen. With it in hand, she makes her way back to the house. Follow me. Coming. Did you need me for something? Not particularly. I feel a need to watch over you before you hurt yourself. Am I a pet to her? I don't think you have anything to worry about. It wasn't that high anyway. I've fallen from much worse. As much as you like high places, you should have more regard for your safety. How does she know that? I'll keep that in mind. Is there anything you want me to do right now, though? How about we have a talk? There are some questions I would like to discuss. All right. Why is it you wish to learn how to cook anyway? There is little use for it here. Do you think we should only learn things that are a necessity? Yes, essentially. Energy one spends on unnecessary tasks may be better spent on things that bring joy. I see you are a person of pleasure. Must be convenient to be able to think and live like that. As I see it, to survive, one must expend a lot of time and energy to feed and find shelter. If that need is fulfilled, that energy can be used in a different manner. That's also true. Maybe I see learning to cook as a necessity then. I looks a bit confused, but her expression quickly changes to a smirk. To be a dutiful wife, for example. Is that so wrong? I cannot say. Unlike your older sisters, you were not taught cooking. Why is that? Probably because my sisters were more likely to be married off first. Ah, in order of age, correct. So then why did An pick you? Hearing his name makes me feel sour again. I really don't know. Human manners are a peculiar thing. I have seen so many styles of it in this world. They can be as different as night and day. However, at the most basic level, it is oddly similar to the hierarchy of monkeys. Pardon? Perhaps in due time it will make sense for you. For now, she has come for you. Jinhai is standing in the entryway. I hadn't even noticed her until I said that. My apologies. Could I borrow Lin? I glance at Ai for permission. She looks back at me quizzically. Do not look to me. You can respond to her yourself. Ah, thank you, Ai. Yeah, I'll go. See you at dinner time. We both bow to her as Ai leaves the room. Did you have fun with Ai? She was scolding me for being on the roof. My apologies. I shouldn't have argued against my better judgment. Don't be like Ai. It really wasn't a big deal like she's making it out to be. I see. What were you doing earlier? That was a pretty big knife. I was cutting some bamboo and plants for the ladder. Oh, wow. You could have asked me to help with that. It was the least I could do for your help with the mushrooms. But if you'd like, we can build it together. Of course. I can't fuss about me on the roof after this. Okay, what should we do? Jinhai has been busy prepping the ingredients while we chatted. How good are you with the knife? I usually just cut up green things with stems into big segments. My sisters usually handled all the other stuff that requires more skill and speed. Ah, I see. Let's practice on an easy one then. She slides over an eggplant. First, lengthwise into halves. I do it smoothly. This is one of the things I can manage. Alright, cut about this wide so it's easier to eat. Keep your fingers safe from the blade. She arranges my fingers on the eggplant and knife. If you bend your fingers like this, it will be harder to accidentally cut your fingers. The flat of the blade should press against the knuckles. It reminds me of a cat paw gesture. I do my best to emulate her as she cuts a carrot on her side of the counter. She skins the carrot with a knife in short strokes before chopping it in mid-sized chunks. Then she notches small triangle cuts around the edges. Just as I'm about to ask what that's for, she lays it flat and chops in a way I'm more familiar with. The carrot rolls apart into little flower-shaped rounds. Aw, how cute! But why are you going out of your way to make flowers? I've learned that presentation goes a long way in enhancing a dish. So, food for the eyes. Yep. Do you need help on the eggplant? Oh, sorry. I got distracted again. I can definitely manage, but I do wonder if I'll ever be as fast as you. Speed comes with practice. Take your time and try not to cut yourself. Did you learn to cook at the temple? Yes, the nuns taught me as I grew up. Though when I became a monk, I kept cooking anyways, as the others said they really enjoyed it. Kept cooking. Jinhai stops momentarily before she continues cutting again. Oh no, was that a rude question? It is not the same everywhere, but ordained monks do not have to handle domestic tasks when there are nuns to take care of that. When you say it like that, they kinda sound like servants. Eep! I accidentally said that out loud. That means I is making it worse by calling her one all the time. Jinhai only smiles at me. I have reached the same conclusion, though there's an extra layer to it beyond mere servitude. Jinhai pauses to greet I, who is standing in the doorway. Hungry already? Quite, although we were about to eat soon, but I came to see you both engaging in a rather heavy discussion. Oh my, spying isn't good manners. I will humor you both on the next occasion. I am sure that Lynn has had enough discussion for one day. It's not as bad— oh, that's Lynn. It's not as bad as that. Soon, then. Yes, we'd almost finished the prep work. Now that the water is almost boiling, it will go much faster. Ah, then I shall leave you both in peace. What else should I do? More cutting? Try to make the soup yourself. You can add these to it, and the hen mushrooms. We'll get your sense of taste going, step by step. Got it. It's the moment of truth. Will I be satisfied by this? So what is it today? Once again, I see no eggs nor meat. No meat, but we might have found something that you'll enjoy. Really now? And what may that be? Jinhai smiles at me, as if asking me to present it. A little frantically, I attempt to convey with my eyes that I can't do that. Humans are not so good at communicating without words, This soup was thoughtfully prepared by Lynn. Oh, your first dish? Yeah, but I'm not sure if it'll be satisfying to your respectable palate. Nonsense. I'm sure it is lovely. Are these green onions? Yeah, I thought it would go well with the flavor. I turns immediately to Jinhai with a grin. Oh, that's right. You cannot eat the 5 oh my god, I know this word and I haven't said it in so long. Pungent vegetables, no? What a shame. Garlic has been added to the diet because of its health benefits. No, you broke the rules. I can't believe it. Why can't you eat— I hope I'm saying this right— pungent vegetables? It is said that it rouses the spirits of anger and passions, making it hard to focus on studying and prayer. Oh. Is that right? See, Lynn is in disbelief as well. Are you not going to try her dish? My heart beats fast in my chest. Please like it. I takes a bite of the mushroom and then stares at it on her chopsticks while chewing thoughtfully. This is a rather mild flavor. What is this called? Hen of the woods. I have yet to find any wild chickens around here. I can partially believe in the name, though. This tastes oddly familiar. What's going on? Maitake. We both turn to Jinhai. You might know it best as maitake mushrooms. That name sounds correct, yes. I shovels it down ravenously. Good work. This passes for now. Thank you, I. Teach her something more complex next time. Will do. We ate without much fanfare, but the experience was definitely satisfying. It really does feel special when someone eats your cooking. Okay, good. I'm not blocking it. Just want to point out how there's a little movement on the vegetable in the pan, which is above my head. All right, let's move on. Let's save just in case. It's always good to save every once in a while. No! Hold on, my mouse was being covered. There it is. Future. No! Oh my god, really? Okay, let me grab a sip of water, and we shall continue. Okay. Alright. Little by little, the days stretch into weeks. And here we are. We've fallen into a pretty organized daily routine, with any role that needs doing better being handled by the person who's best at it. Jinhai does most of the cooking. I assist her, of course, and go along for foraging and mushroom harvests. Since I can't do much else by way of contribution, I ended up taking initiative to thoroughly clean the house, and then upkeep it. I'm pretty familiar with the chore, so it's not a difficult task. As for well, I'm not exactly sure what she does. Sometimes I see her feeding Keen, and she seems to be managing the hot spring, I think. Whatever that entails, chasing away monkeys, maybe? She always seems to be busy, though. Having a routine helps make my life feel normal again, and now that I'm not on edge or stressed so much, I've actually started getting a little antsy. I've been venturing out on my own from time to time, but each time I try to find the edge of the forest, a heavy fog descends. It's so thick that I can't see 2 feet ahead of me. As much as I want to go home, I'm not sure if it's worth the risk of potentially falling off a cliff in that fog. Jinhai's promise seems more and more like a distant dream the longer I live here. Distant. Distant, huh? No way. I definitely have to go home still. I shake the idea out of my head. Mom is waiting for me. I'm sure of it. Why don't I try looking at it from a different perspective? Literally. Instead of trying to map out the forest on foot again, I try climbing the nearest sturdy-looking tree instead. If nothing else, at least it's nice to be up so high. Okay then, let's see now. I try looking for the horizon, but a sea of treetops without much variation stretches out in every direction. I can't even tell which way is north or south because of the fog encroaching on all sides. How disappointing. This is barely any better than the ground. All I can tell is that this pocket of land is pretty high up. The fog, though, the way it's spread out and surrounds on all sides is rather unnatural. Could it be some kind of sorcery or magic? Oh no, who's this? I want to know what voice to do it in. I'm assuming it's Jinhai. Lynn! Yikes! That startled me so bad I almost fell. Yeah? Yes, it was Jinhai. I request that you return. Oh, do I really have to? I shout back down to the leaves below. I should have shouted that, but I just said it. Okay. She told me to tell you that monkeys not adapted to living in trees will most likely fall sooner than later. Fine, fine. Coming. Why does she keep assuming I'll fall? I'm extra careful on my way down as to not prove I's point. Jinhai finally comes into view. Did you enjoy yourself? Not as long as I'd like, but I was rather high up, I suppose. What did you see? Nothing but trees and fog. Jinhai only nods as I finally touch down on the ground. You don't seem surprised. I did have a hard time finding I myself through the fog. Jinhai picks up the empty basket at her feet. She's got a small smile, as usual. Oh, does that mean we're not going back right away? Yes, let's go foraging. Of course. We make our way through the woods, stepping gingerly to avoid accidentally crushing any mushrooms that may be lurking. The concept of being in a hurry seems utterly foreign when it comes to Jinhai. Since you said finding I was difficult, I was curious, how long have you been looking for her? Jinhai stops in place, scanning the area. Too long. She has made herself quite difficult to track. Yeah, I feel like it would be hard trying to find a snake, a special one like I on top of that. How'd you do it then? I can sense her. Eh? Is this a holy power? Oh, wow. Seriously? Yes, though it's a complicated story. Will she tell me someday? Where did you go trying to find her? Quite a number of countries. The moment I come close, she seems to sense my arrival and goes into hiding, so I usually end up staying at a nearby temple to wait her out. That sounds like a lot of adjustment. Well, I do try to make the best out of the situation. As long as I follow the culture's expectations, I don't stir up any trouble. When entering a village, follow its customs and the like. That makes sense. How did you end up with Kin? She was a gift from a very, very grateful family. They were quite insistent that I take their chicken. If I had refused, they would have felt gravely insulted. I would normally have given her away like the other gifts, but I didn't feel right giving her up to be eaten. Your concern extends to all life, huh? It looks like she became your companion in the end. She's been a very helpful traveling partner. She'd sense and warn me of any dangerous creatures lurking nearby when we set up camp. Oh, that's great! What a super chicken! I guess you don't appreciate all the food jokes I makes about wanting to eat Kin, then. I may not be strong enough to stop I, should she really feel the urge to hunt. It would also be unfair of me to condemn I for wanting to, as it's in her nature after all. But if I can reason with her, I will always try to do so. Ah, I understand. Now I've a question for you. It has been on my mind for some time, but why do you treat I as a goddess? I've been doing my best not to, but I slip up once in a while, much to I's annoyance. She's all-knowing, wise, and merciful. There's a snake god that my village reveres, and I thought she was that god at first. Oh, is that right? Jinhai guides us back to the house, the basket now full of wild greens, berries, and mushrooms. We wait a little while, expecting I to pop up as usual. Hi, we're home! So she sent Jinhai out to get me, but isn't even around to greet me. She might be napping somewhere. In the meantime, would you mind continuing our earlier chat? Shoot, I don't remember... Oh my god, seriously. Okay, my notes were just to oscillate between Jinhai and I. Okay, I think because this isn't in my notes, I don't think it affects the outcome of the story. So yes, I will continue the talk with you. If it's not in my notes, it probably doesn't affect the ending. So, of course, Do you need me to help with anything first? I'm just going to set things up in the kitchen. Why don't you wait for me in my room? Okay, I'll see you soon then. It looks like Jinhai hasn't changed rooms since she came. I still feel uncomfortable each time I'm in here. Sorry for the wait. She's holding a tray with a teapot and 2 already poured cups. There's small white flowers floating in them. I accept one and inhale deeply, curious. Is this jasmine? Yes. Do you like it? Yeah, I do. It's really lovely. What did you want to discuss? You mentioned your village earlier. Could you tell me more about what or who you worship there, and how you do so? Of course she'd be curious. Sure. Before I forget though, I got curious when you said you were locating I, but where exactly is here? I assumed you live around the top end of your country? Yeah. It's about 2 weeks by foot to here. No way. How? I was asleep for that long? How is that possible? What do you mean? Better not to stir up anything until I have a better understanding. It's nothing. Let's get back to the original topic. So, my village. We have a shaman who leads everything during ceremonies. We also pray every day to the village snake god. So your village has deep respect for all snakes. Yeah, they eat rats, who are pests as they eat our crops. It's also considered a sign of future wealth if you see a snake in the home. The god of fortune embodies snakes, so if the snake leaves, it's said that the household will go bankrupt. Wait, so what happens if you find a snake in the house? You keep it in a basket and take care of it. Oh. So that is why you call I a goddess. Of course. Did she meet you at the village? Yeah, she did. She was very fortunate then. Why would you say that? Does she know? Not all villages are kind to snakes. In some places, people like to harvest snakes for medicine. How horrible! I can't believe there are places like that. Jinhai nods in agreement. How do you feel about snakes? Are they special to you? Yes, the special ones are called nagas. Some say they possess abilities to transform into humans, or they are half-human, half-serpent deities that live in the heavens. Some live alongside us as beings of water near streams or oceans, or as beings of the earth deep inside caverns. They are also said to be divine protectors, possess magical abilities, and rarely, but able to reach full enlightenment. Some temples' ornamentations include snake motifs as a result. Wow, that's amazing. When she explains it like that, isn't that a lot like I? So, I is a Naga then? Perhaps, but she seems to be a bit more complex than that. To be honest, I never expected to actually meet one ever in my lifetime. I thought them a mere legend, yet here she is. Oh, would you say I is special then? Jinhai's expression is so solemn that I don't have a clue as to what she might be thinking. She is... I heard my name. Speaking about me. Only the good stuff. I looks at me as if not believing Jinhai. It is true, goddess. You seem to have said something good, all right. I can guess why you're here. As usual, I should like to remind you that I am waiting for mealtime. Understood. Lynn will keep you company in the meantime. As you wish. So, what manner of good things have been said about me? Plenty. Let's see. Okay, I totally forgot I was gonna do a mini translation summary of what's happening. I also want to point out in Spanish, nalgas means butt, like B-U-T-T. Nalgas is butt. So, naga, like, I don't know. It seems funny to me. And I believe in the Legend of Korra, the polar bear dog is also called Naga. And me and my sister love the Legend of Korra. But when we were watching for the first time, it was so hard not to laugh because it's one letter off from Nalgas. So yes, we are mature adults. I wanted to summarize real quick. I meant to summarize this when we started, but basically, so Lynn doesn't know how to swim, cook, or write. So in this part of the story, in this stream, we're seeing her beginning to learn as she spends time at the house. And she'll study how to swim with I, but she'll study how to cook and write with Jinhai. So let me go to Spanish with that. Lynn no sé cómo nadar, cocinar sin escribir y va a estudiar cómo nadar con I y va a estudiar cómo cocinar y escribir con Jinhai. Porque de esto ella están cocinando. She is cooking. I hope I conjugated that right. Cocinando con Jinhai. So that's why we see her cooking with Jinhai. And I will do my best for Japanese. Nihongo mo. Rin wa kaku to oyogu to ryori suru hoho o shiranai. 彼女は愛と一緒に泳ぐ方法を勉強する。そして人愛と一緒に料理と書き方を勉強する。So again, that's why we see her studying cooking with Jinhai at present. And this stream or next, we'll see her learning other skills with them. So with that said, and with my comment on just the fun nomenclature between Nalgas and Naga. All right, we're gonna go back to the story. Not this again. Weirdly enough, this time I seem to have a better sense of up or down, but still it's eerie. It's above me. What is that? I duck under it, but realize it's just making me sink further into the dark abyss. Can I stop drowning? Not again! As I try to take a breath. Ugh. Another drowning dream? What gives? Why is it hands? Does it have some symbolic meaning? Or is it an old memory of that time? Maybe I should sleep in today. Just a little longer. You've been sleeping for a while. Would you like to get up now? Oh, what time is it? The sun is almost directly overhead. Let me get ready. Can't believe I slept that much. We were also wondering if you'd like to join us. Where are you going? We are going to walk through the forest. You're going with us for once. Is that a question? This sounds like just the thing to help take my mind off those dreams. I quickly slide the door open after getting dressed. I'm all set. You seem awfully chipper. You forgot your shoes. Is Jinhai waiting outside for us? I almost trip over my shoes while putting them on. She's in the kitchen preparing. Preparing what? Edible goods. Are we having a picnic? Yes! Sure. You can call it that. I'll help her get ready then. What are you hiding? There's no visibility whatsoever in all this. I wave my arms around. Can you even see me? Yes, quite, and stop that. I'm sure we can manage. Oh, and I really wanted to enjoy this picnic. I can't hear what Jinhai is saying to Ai, but I can make out Ai's twitching tail. She's annoyed? Fine, fine. Did you see that? The fog just lifted so quickly. Oh my, it's like magic, right? Yeah. You did this, but I thought you said you can't control the weather. I cannot. I can control the fog, however. It's because the fog is hers in the first place. Wait, so I controls the fog in this entire area? You really are an amazing goddess. This seems like a good spot. Jinhai spreads the sheet on the floor for us to sit. Without wasting a moment, I unwrap the food for inspection. The mood is almost celebratory. It's like the remainder of my tension was dispelled with the fog. Whoa. Opening the wraps reveals steamed buns of different sizes and some kind of flat, starchy cake with green specks. Is this a banbo bao? These inflections. I'm not good with tonal languages. I want to say ban bao is perhaps the name of it. I know what these are, but not used to the tone. Banbo chai, I believe. It is called baoji. Of course, it's a vegetarian steamed bun. Let me guess the filling. Mushrooms, carrots, some manner of root, and more mushrooms. You're wonderfully knowledgeable, as always. I eats it without further complaint. What are the rest? The smaller ones are filled with red bean and mung bean. This piece here... She picks up a triangular piece of the one thing that isn't a steamed bun. This is a scallion pancake. It's quite simple to make. I haven't tried it before. I've already sprinkled some soy sauce for this time, but usually you can dip it. Have a bite. Yum! It's fried perfectly crisp. What a great day so far. Delicious food, beautiful scenery, and the relaxing sounds of nature. Most, if not all, of the bird songs you are hearing are an attempt to mate. What? Yes, they are advertising that they want to breed. Inadvertently, they are also attracting predators. It is quite a gamble on their end. I seems to be licking her lips contemplatively. Leave it to I to change the mood so drastically. I, will take your word for it. The sounds seem to stop abruptly for a bit. Is something wrong? I hate all birds of prey. Why? Well, I is a snake after all. Such is their diet. I hate creatures that have tried to eat me, but I also know it is the world that I live in. It is the natural order. Okay, I want to point out, the first time I played this game, there were fewer soundtracks and like a few typos, so this version of the game is the current version of the game as of March 2021. So they fixed up some typos. They changed the Japanese section, which I got so stuck on the first stream. So they changed the Japanese section at the beginning, the argument. I reviewed that in the last stream, the comparison. They cleaned a few typos, and the biggest thing probably is they added more soundtracks. So this soundtrack is actually a new one from the old game. So I read that last line a bit slower because I was distracted by the new song. So this is exciting. I believe there's 4 new soundtracks that have been added to the game. And I believe this is the first one that I've heard this playthrough that's a new one, so that's, to me, quite exciting. Like, I almost want to, like, take this part real slow so I can hear more of the soundtrack. I think I'll just read a little slower than usual because I do appreciate that the creators took the time to add more to the game. Because I know originally they wanted to add more music, they just weren't able to at the time. Okay, let's continue. Such things cannot match my level of hatred for the one particular animal that has killed many of us. What is that? Humans. Her words send a pang of shock through me, but I try not to show it. Have you interacted with other humans? I usually avoid them. They are rather dangerous creatures. Why do you say that? After many years of observing them, I have seen that they are very destructive to other animals, and to each other. The knot forming in my throat makes me stop eating. You like me, though. I hate you the most. Yes, of course you do. They're back to their amicable bickering in seconds. Jinhai tries to stuff a sweet bow into Ai's mouth and receives a light whack from Ai's tail for her trouble. However, I am fond of you, Lin, as you tried to feed me the first time we met. I did? You gave me an egg. Oh, yeah, that's right. What was your reasoning for such an offer anyway? I thought you were dying. I was clearly not dying. You were bloody and not moving. I was stunned by the fall, and then you gave me a snack, is how I saw it. It was an offering to help send you to the afterlife in peace. That is an appreciative sentiment, but incredibly silly. I am immortal after all. Oh, then wait, why were you bloody and stunned anyway? A stupid hawk got me while I was sleeping. I didn't want to risk serious injury if it dropped me while flying, so I got my revenge the moment we came close enough to the trees. That sounds pretty scary. I lived. It was fine. Besides, I am sure others have gone through worse. Ai barely eyes me as she says those words. I see. Would either of you like to join me for a walk? Why don't we all go together? Jinhai packs up everything while I sit there a bit dazedly, trying to absorb all the new information. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but Ai's words made an odd feeling churn my stomach. It's odd, but a little familiar. Ai is very special indeed. And this fog all around us is Ai's doing, so she keeps us inside. Then it's nearly impossible to go in or out. You seem to be in deep thought. Could you share? Think of something. I was just thinking that it's rather silly how being here almost made me forget how difficult it was growing up the way we did. Technically, that's not a lie. Is it not better here with us? Sure. It's not as simple as that. It's definitely tough to be poor. We have traded a difficult life for a quiet utopia in comparison. It's really not that simple. Utopia, huh? Jinhai, cease with that. It is very unbecoming. You are not a goat. I snap out of my thoughts in time to see Jinhai turning back towards us with something green sticking out of the corner of her mouth. It disappears quickly as she chews. What? Why are you picking and eating leaves around here? I'm trying to figure out if something may be tasty for future dishes. Sampling wild greens is par for the course. At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if you eat flowers or tree bark too. You'd be surprised how many are edible. Perhaps less so for the tree bark, though. They're definitely unpredictable. Do you always look for food this way? Often. I also look for medicinal plants with this method. Oh? Don't you risk getting sick sometimes? Occasionally, but it only lasts a little while. Oh, is that what I think it is? Jinhai rushes over to a tree to pick something up. I thought it was just red leaves, but... Looking awfully pleased, she shows it to me. A fan-shaped mushroom with a reddish tint. Neat. What does it taste like? I was told its flavor is akin to shrimp. How interesting. Is that for today's meal? Yes, let's scrounge around a little more before heading back. Eyes still got a displeased look as she observes Jinhai. Is something wrong? Perhaps. Maybe she doesn't like seafood? Is it because it's not meat again? Yes. Or could it be something else? Alright, gonna take a water break again. Alright. Let's go. Here we go. Our first special is egg drop soup. And the one everyone seems to be waiting for, mushroom veggie stir fry. That looks captivating. The red stands out so vibrantly against all that green bok choy. I, on the other hand, seems a bit less than impressed, but grabs her bowl of soup and downs the whole thing in one go. Delicious. I give it my approval. Next, she snatches up one of the red mushrooms and stuffs it in her mouth. Her chewing goes from abrupt to abruptly at a loss, it seems. Huh. What does it taste like? She doesn't answer me, so I pick one up with my own chopsticks. The texture is chewy, like any other mushroom, but it tastes kinda like crawfish. Crawfish. I guess it's kinda scorpion-like, but it lives in the water. It has a hard shell and two big front claws. It turns red when you cook it. Ah, I see. How does this match up to the real thing? This is definitely a little sweeter though, so not quite. I fail to comprehend how you humans can enjoy such edibles. They are merely water-dwelling roaches. For your information, it tastes akin to a lobster, a bigger water roach. We'll take your word for it. She sure knows how to provide a different perspective to things. Water, huh. Are you feeling okay? Jinhai's hand on my shoulder finally registers, and I realize she'd addressed me. You seem a little out of it. Are you sick? Her hand moves from my shoulder to feel my forehead. Oh no, I'm fine, really. The, water talk just reminded me of last night's dream. Was it a nightmare? Not really. It's not exactly pleasant, but not an actual nightmare, I'd say. Was there anything else? Hands like kid-sized this time. Maybe it's an old memory or something. Perhaps. As if learning from Jinhai's actions, Ai reassuringly puts her hand on my other shoulder. If you ever happen to find yourself underwater in reality, I will definitely come save you. That's awfully kind of you. Thanks, Ai. Let us continue eating. As we finish our meal, I can't help but notice Ai avoiding the remaining red mushrooms with an intense determination. I've got no idea what had gotten her upset last night, but this morning Ai gives us a surprise I'd never thought to expect. I'd have never thought to expect. sneakily glancing at Jinhai oh my god. Sneakily glancing at Jinhai in an attempt to read the situation only tells me she's not any more in the know. We end up seemingly trying to hold a conversation using just our eyebrows and occasionally glancing at eye. The unspoken consensus ends up being to just not say anything for now. But she's sitting there in her usual seat, so... is anyone hungry? Me! Jinhai hands me a bowl of rice. But just as she's about to set one in front of I only want an egg. Is that going to be enough? Yes. Whole and raw, please. Coming up. I try my best to act normally around her. Did she lose her powers? Here you go. Jinhai places the egg on the table, and we watch as I quickly takes it into her mouth and swallows. It causes an odd egg-shaped bulge in her silhouette, but it breaks down quickly enough. I am off. I will see you both whenever I finish. Goodbye. Have a safe trip. Trip? Is she going away? For a little while, most likely. She will probably return when she's finished. Finished with what, though? Your guess is as good as mine. Her not denying my well wishes just now was my only confirmation. Oh. Can a prison still function if the keeper is gone? In case you are wondering, she can locate us if she so wishes. Oh my god, that's not what it says. She can locate us if she so desires. But how? Jinhai seems to be in deep thought, rubbing the back of her neck. I'll probably tell you tonight. You deserve to know more. I understand. Thank you. For now, let's enjoy our meal and day. Yeah, let's do that. What makes you think it will be a short trip, though? Well, that's because I likes us too much to be apart for long. Got it. Our day ended up being spent thoroughly cleaning. Jinhai outside as I handled the interior. Might as well make the place pretty for her return. I pause and stare at the attic stairwell. She wouldn't know if I took a peek, but... Shaking my head, I quickly dismissed the idea. She hasn't entered my room without asking, so I should also keep my promise. Still, I'm a little worried about tonight for some reason. All right, Lynn, refocus. These floors won't clean themselves. As per the routine we've developed, she hands me a cup of tea upon my entry. This one's a bit uncommon. It is best when blended with black or green tea, but for now, take a guess what's in it. There's a floral aftertaste for sure. I don't know what these orange flowers are, though. Lily tea. They say it's good for the skin and helps you sleep better. Ah, it's quite visually soothing as well. Did she want me to relax first? Hence this tea? So, right, the reason you're here tonight. You said that even if we left, she could find us. How is that possible? Can she create multiple copies of herself? Or is she secretly testing us and hiding in the woods to see what we do? Jinhai starts rubbing the back of her neck, seeming a bit at a loss. Yikes, this must be serious if even Jinhai's nervous. I will be straightforward about it. She can find us whenever she wants because she placed her mark on us. Huh? Jinhai pulls down the fabric around her neck to reveal two familiar-looking moles on the side of her neck. You have it too. When did she... Jinhai readjusts her neckerchief and returns to her usual posture. A while back. She leaves a little something in us to keep track of us. But didn't you say it'd fade over time? That depends on a few things, such as how much blood she took from you. I cover my neck area reflexively. And the other? How fast you can heal on your own. You mean like injuries? Yes. Well, my ankle was swollen when I first arrived here, but she, bit the area, and it healed instantly. That means she didn't take much blood from you. That's really great news. Why does she look so relieved? What about you? She shows me the palm of her hand. Take a look. I touch her hand, but nothing is readily apparent. What am I looking for? I may be a scholar, but I work heavily with my hands. Not a single callus or cut after all that gardening and cooking. Your hands actually have some signs of labor. I hide my hands from her. Oh, don't be embarrassed. I envy your hands. To me, it means you've experienced the world. I have no scars because I heal very quickly. At the very least, it's proven quite useful. Her eyes glance behind me for the barest instant. My gaze instinctively follows hers, and when I see the medicine chest, something clicks. Wait a minute. The tea almost spills out of my cup with an exclamation. You eat plants to test their medicinal use. I'm not so sure as to the actual logistics, but with some intense introspection and observation, I've discovered how many a plant works by experiencing its effects on my own body. But couldn't you die from doing that? Yes, but fortunately it hasn't happened, and in turn the knowledge enables me to help many others. But don't you think that's kind of a short-sighted gesture? Pardon? Aren't you sacrificing yourself like that, intentionally causing harm to your own person for the sake of other people? So sorry, I shouldn't be accusing you of something like that. I think you're a very kind person, but to me, it sounds like you're a little bit too kind, and letting others take advantage of that? Though, I don't know much about your life, so I apologize for overstepping my bounds like this. I just want you to remember that you're also a person worth saving, you know? Thank you, Lynn. I hear and appreciate your words. I apologize in advance that it may be hard to break old habits, but I'd be honored if, for the time being, you'd allow me to continue assisting you. If you'd like, though I really don't think you should let I keep calling you a servant. And I'm helping out too now. Yeah, if anyone deserves to be called a servant. But Jinhai goes on to elaborate, and the unpleasant nostalgia dissipates as quickly as it had set in. Feeding you both brings me great joy, and it is a task I do with pleasure. So don't worry, I don't consider it a chore the way she initially presented it. I also like to keep things clean whenever I can. Your cooking is absolutely delicious, so at least let me do most of the cleaning then. Then we'll both have jobs we're happy with. Gladly. Thanks for being honest with me, though I gotta say, all this about Ai is pretty shocking. She's always been full of surprises. Seemingly thoughtful, Jinhai presses lightly on her neck. She's pretty far away, but slowly making her way back. We may see her tomorrow or so. You can sense her too? It works both ways in our situation. Does that mean I can also do that? Perhaps someday, but that day may never come. What do you mean? Your connection to Ai does not run deep, since she didn't take much of your blood from the sound of it. I'm fairly confident the markings on your neck will fade over time. So that means when it happens, she'll lose track of me. Yes, most likely, but I'll help free you before then, so you won't have to worry about her. I see. This is wild. Whoa, wait. Was this how you were able to track her down in the first place? You really catch on quick. Well, now that you told me all this, things are starting to make a lot more sense. My brain is trying to process all the information, but I feel like a chicken pecking the dirt, trying to gather my thoughts. Only I'm the chicken, and my train of thought is the food. Jinhai, the magnanimous, patiently waits for me anyways. How have you been sleeping lately? The same. I'll admit I'm a bit nervous sleeping because I'm afraid to drown again. Did it happen last night? Nope. Thank goodness, but I can never predict when it will. You mentioned it may be an old memory. She pauses, probably assessing my comfort level, but after learning all this, I think I'm ready. You revealed something important about yourself, so it seems only fair that I tell you something about myself. Oh, please, don't feel obligated. It was only right that you knew. Well, that might be true, but I want you to know more about me too, I guess. I understand. I was wondering if they may have been the hands I saw when I almost drowned, but it's been years, so I can't really tell. I was playing with my siblings and other village kids near a river when we weren't supposed to be at that day. We were playing a game, and I think I got bumped and I fell in. What happened next? My siblings didn't know how to swim, but I was told An jumped in and got me up above the water long enough for Big Brother to finally pull me out. Who is An? He was my stupid best friend. Thank you for sharing. It sounds like mentioning him was rather difficult. He ruined everything. Something like that. I'm still not quite over it. Oh wow, I didn't notice until now, but it's become quite dark. We should both get some rest. You're right. Thanks again. She shakes her head. Thank you as well. Sleep well, Lynn. I hope you'll forgive me someday. All right. These little panels are good reminders for a water break. Also, I like the slight touch of animation. The little boop on the nose. I keep forgetting to mention when I start my streams the naming of my URL on Twitter as well as YouTube is Quetzal and Verde, or sometimes Quetzal y Verde. Verde's all snuggled up in my hair. You see him on the intro and outro slide sometimes. He's a feathered serpent, feathered snake. So a part of me felt like this would be a nice visual novel to start with my early streams because of the snake connection, but I also just really like the story and the detail and the art in it. So anyhow, I like this panel because of the boop on the nose, kind of reminds me of Verde. All right. Let's continue. Mouse, why are you up there? Okay. You know what? This is also a good spot to save. I'm pretty sure I'm making the right choices in the game to get the ending I want to try getting. So, just in case though, we'll have future after talk. All right. I'm gonna make a few save files just in case I get the wrong ending. I can go back, make the different choices. I'm pretty sure we're on track. I'm assuming this is Jinhai. Good morning. Did I hear something? Rise and shine. Oh shoot. Oh. Okay, I totally thought that was Jinhai. We're gonna go back. Pretty sure that's Ai's voice. Okay, Ai's really happy this morning. Good morning. Did I hear something? Rise and shine. I feel like I need to put it in the right voice. And I'm pretty sure that's Ai's voice. Get in there, mouse. I have a surprise for you both. Get out here already. You've got to be joking. Despite being haphazardly and barely dressed, I obediently rush out into the yard. Where's the fire? I is proudly showing off a large dead pig lying on the garden grass. Whoa! Fire. Anyway, is it not amazing? I have been tracking this wild pig for some time now, and yesterday seemed like a good time. Oh, so you went hunting? Yes, for you and for myself. I did not kill this for her, so Jinhai may eat as well. This follows your tenets, yes? Oh? Some sects allow us to eat meat, as long as it wasn't killed on our behalf. Jinhai seems to have appeared behind me at some point. I appreciate the gesture, but I feel it may not agree with my stomach. However, I will be glad to guide Lynn in preparing any dishes she may have in mind. Wonderful news. We shall have meat that can last us for months on end with such a sizable creature. Do you feel up for it? I'm not sure if I'm good enough to take over such a large task. Well, you are in luck. You have a resource at hand that is both valuable and readily available. Well, definitely can't be Jinhai. Who? It is I, of course. This is a great opportunity for you to learn how to butcher. Sure, why not? I have always wanted to try a lot of those fancy pork dishes. And now I can definitely earn the right to eat them. Then it sounds like a plan. What do you think, Jinhai? Agreed. Then I'll continue cooking sides and whatnot for Lynn's wonderful feast. I shall take him to the forest in the back to drain the blood before we begin. Now that Ai's gone, I turn back to Jinhai and realize she's rather pale. This is a first. Do you want to rest? I'm good as long as you are. Don't worry about me. I'm used to this. Growing up and all, Father made sure we didn't turn away from things like this. Even if some of us cried during the experience instead. Here, you'll need some containers for you to hold the parts. Will I need any knives? Jinhai is staring at Ai, who is admiring her sharp nails as she drags the hog across the garden. It might be the distance or the sunlight, but they seem longer than usual. Oh no, you'll be in good hands. Any chance you have advice on what to do with the meat? With that size, it'll probably be enough to last a year, if preserved right. I believe drying is the way to go. I'll prepare the rub while you're away. Thank you. I run off after Ai, who has disappeared from view. Ready to get started. She's already strung it up by the hawks. Sure, what do I do? I'll be doing the cutting, and you'll take care of holding it. If done right, we can eat most of the parts. How familiar are you with this? Father used to do some butcher work, but not too often. He said unlike other kinds where we'd age the meat to tenderize it, pork should be cut the moment it firms up. Oh, not to worry. I already froze it before coming back. It's thawed enough for the blood to drain here. Did I mishear you? You did what now? I made it really, really cold. I forgot you haven't seen ice or snow where you live. You can make ice too? She's really an amazing goddess of water now, even. I begin skinning the creature. I like to keep the area a consistent temperature, so I only do so on occasion. Do wild pigs taste different from the domesticated ones? Their meat is sweeter and has a rather nutty hint due to their diet, which is generally grass, nuts, and roots. I usually eat them raw, so I'm curious how human intervention would change the flavor. How would you like to preserve the meat? Why are you asking me? Are you not in charge of our meals? But I'm still not good enough to decide that. I should like to remind you, who is your teacher at this moment? Sorry. Of course, with your help, I'm sure I can handle it. Good. Now then, how? Drying it? Sounds good. There is a small cave I made not far from here that we can use to chill the meat. A cold place in this area? Another one of your powers? Yes. Everything else will divide into drying and potting methods when we get back. Such as salting, covering in lard, and also sticky rice. That's unique. Have you done this before? I have observed these methods as used by numerous human tribes. Now then, it's time to cut. Watch closely. With clean, practiced movements, I slices the pig down the middle before removing the inner organs. Then she takes one side and splits it into sections of shoulder, loin, belly, and hinds. Those really are some impressive nails. There you have it. You can start carrying some of this back, and I shall store the other half. If there is anything left behind, I will handle it. Sounds good. See you soon. You're back. How did it go? The way she sliced up the meat with her fingers was really skillful. I stand near the doorway at an angle to hide the raw, meat-filled containers as best I can. What's wrong? Nothing. I just need a cloth. Without questioning, she passes one to me and I use it to cover one of the bloodier containers. The rub is ready to go. I wish I could have seen it. What's in it? 2 types of peppercorn, cloves, galangal, and fennel seeds. It is essentially pestle and mortar work. Quite simple, really. Now, for drying and smoking, I've been told lean meat is very suitable. First, you rub the mix all over, let it marinate for 7 days, then rinse it off and air dry for 3. Then we will smoke it for 1 hour and let the sun take care of the last drying stage, which is roughly 20 days. Overall, it's not complicated, but does take time. I also mentioned something about using lard and sticky rice in pots. Yes, that's another method. We don't have sticky rice at the moment, but the lard method should work, especially with the fattier pieces. You'll cook it first, then collect the fat and drippings to preserve it with. Got it. You sure know a lot about meat preparation for a vegetarian. I met a very enthusiastic butcher not long ago. He had a lot of pride in his work and naturally wanted to share. I'm happy his knowledge will be of use to you both. This reminds me of a tangent I want to go on about a vegetarian being very good at preparing meat. So there is this... It's a bit complicated to go into all the details, but basically there was an event at my school once where there were like different challenges to do, and like you can kind of pick and choose what challenge you wanted to do and get others to help you. And one of them was to make cheese and to show the process from milk to cheese, but like specifically the way they worded it, they wanted you to straight up get it from an animal or a farm, like really show like you know where this milk came from and you made it into cheese. So me and a couple friends drove like, I don't know, a good couple hours to like a farm where we can buy the milk directly from the producer. So we went, we drove out, we bought the milk, and we made it into cheese. But the person who directed us through the cheese making was, what's the word? Vegan. I believe she was vegan. So she herself doesn't eat cheese. I guess when she was younger, she did, or just maybe I don't even know if she like made her own cheese and then later became vegan. But anyhow, she was vegan, didn't eat cheese, and yet knew perfectly how to make the cheese, all the tools we would need, and walked us through it. And it turned out really good. Like, we all really enjoyed the cheese. and we completed the like activity and like got full points and all. It was just really cool, like making our own cheese, and the irony of having a vegan leading us through it even though she couldn't eat it in the end. But I thought it was pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of Jinhai being a vegetarian, but being very knowledgeable of preparing meat. Or I guess semi-vegetarian. She said she'll eat it if it's not killed on her behalf. But it's still kind of ironic. Alright, I'm gonna get water before we continue. Okay. Alright, so she's telling us she learned from a butcher who wanted to share his work and how it came in useful, and that's how she knows from this very friendly butcher that wanted to pass on his knowledge. Oh, wow. He's proud of his work even though it's an undesirable job, huh? That's great, I guess. I'll fetch some pots for storage, but we might not have enough. We can eat some as is, or use the intestines to make sausages. Welcome back. Now then, what did you want to do with the head? There's no other way to describe the way Ai reveals the head other than brandishing it. At Jinhai. Ai! What? She will be fine. We can eat the pig ears after a quick marinade, thinly sliced, on a bed of greens, maybe. Oh? Never had that before. But with the whole head still. I know, we can make a head cheese called, oh boy, tonal languages. Jiaothu, I believe. I think that's a flat on the thu. I'm hoping that's a flat. Is it good? Yeah, it's usually super popular during the Lunar New Year. Then we'll have a go at it. And for the hawks. Oh my god, tonal languages. There's a famous noodle soup from the imperial capital city called Hue, called Buonbo. I hope for anyone who speaks a tonal language you understand what I'm saying. I think I got those. The name means beef noodles, but it can be made with stuff like pig knuckles and pork blood curd as the meat, while the pork bones are just as good for soup stock, too. I know of a savory braised dish called, oh my god, Huangshu roll, that uses pork trotter as well. They all sound splendid. Let's get started. I turned to Jinhai, who's busy getting the stove set up. Ai looks awfully happy. She's even helping in the kitchen. It is a nice change in pace indeed. I can make the noodles. What is it like? A bit on the thicker side and circular, not flat or transparent like rice ones. I'm not sure about the general recipe though, besides the ingredients. What if I mess up and it tastes horrible? I will be so disappointed. What's the flavor profile like? Hard to describe. Spicy, sour, salty, and savory. I think there's lemongrass, garlic, onions, herbs, and chili oil too. All complex. I'll help you gather what you need and teach you how to best cook the vegetables for a harmonious flavor. Taste it as we go, and adjust based on what you remember. After that, cooking is an art that's constantly developing. We'll figure it out together, so don't worry. Thank you. I'll do my best then. I've got to try new things someday, right? I didn't think we'd have to sample so much to get the taste right. And all the noodles. Jinhai was surprisingly nitpicky with getting the texture exactly right, so we ate lots of noodles. My stomach feels like it's going to burst. Why don't you join me out here by the pond? At Ai's voice, I step out and look around, but don't see her anywhere. Join you where? In the water would be great. I'm good here, thanks. I plop myself down by the water's edge and stare at its calm surface. Dinner was delicious. A job well done. Thank you. I was impressed by how Jinhai made a vegetarian version of my dish that tasted so similar. The things she can do with mushrooms and tofu. It had many vegetables and herbs to begin with, so she was pleased with the new dish, I am sure. If you keep practicing, then someday you will be as good as her. You think? Jinhai's is so amazing, though. If you keep putting your mind to it, why not? That'll be a goal to aspire to, then. Oh, I never got to thank you. For what? Hunting for meat. It was mostly for me. I could not bear the thought of eating another mushroom. Still, I feel like I'm being spoiled either way. It'll be great if we can get a year out of it, as Jinhai says. Pish-posh. I will eat to my heart's content. At best, it'll maybe last half the time. If need be, I can always hunt more pig, or other animals. My eyes widen in amazement. I can tell you are thinking about more meat dishes. Is it that obvious? Though if you return home, you will lose all these new and wonderful things. True. I have to admit, I never imagined things would turn out this way. Being here with us. Yeah, because life is all about surviving, just keeping ourselves going however we can. But right now, I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm not worrying so much about what I have to do or what I can't do. Maybe it's more efficient to say I feel like I'm able to grow instead of just maintaining myself. Are you still feeling homesick? Would you be mad if I said yes? Ai's reaction is unexpected, though with I guess that's to be expected. I will not penalize you just because I fail to relate. Perhaps I will understand your human conception of attachments someday. Though I must also note that I do not think your village is worth living in, being in your position. Because we're so poor? Because you are female. The village rules are more strict for your kind. To put it another way, it is not a position without difficulty. But it's always been this way. Now that is absolutely incorrect. Humans have very short lifespans. This seems to also apply to the memories they possess. You humans can be quite selective at times. Looks like Ai is ready to teach me something. I'm listening. Simply put, your culture used to be a matriarchy. That isn't simple at all. That's kind of hard to believe. Led by women. The short of it is that when the northern country attacked yours and ruled for 1,000 years, their culture influenced yours, even erasing or reshaping things to align with their own values and beliefs. History is written by the victors, after all. That does somehow make sense. Is that always a bad thing, though? It is not necessarily either good or bad. Both are subjective, and there are as many potential answers as individuals with thought. I see. So, what was erased? The social hierarchy. Women used to be powerful, decision-makers, and leaders. They determined who was to be king, and were the individuals one would petition for wisdom and advice. Women tend to live longer, so it makes logical sense. When it came to inheritance, it would be owned by the woman, since her children would inherit the land. That's definitely new. Do you not have any famous heroes that were women? Oh yes, the Trung sisters that fought against the North. They lost in the end, but we still celebrate them. Many other cultures would never allow a woman to go into battle, much less lead an army. Now compare all that to the way your village functions now. I guess that part may be true. When all the young men were drafted, a lot of women were left behind. Many of the older men took extra wives as a result. That is how cultures usually handle extra bachelors. Send them into religion, travel, or war. That's rather sad. I can't help but remember when An left. He was so scared. He couldn't even kill ants, much less kill someone in battle. Does it still sting, his betrayal? You need to stop reading my mind. I did not have to. I was making an educated guess from the topic at hand. Fine. Yeah, it still does. It's unfair how his one action caused all those bad things to happen to me, while he got off just fine. Oops. Well, at the very least, I can see a positive side to this. Now you are here, with a lot less worries. I'm pretty sure you're still one of my worries. If you say so. Now, what do you think about what I said? It's a bit much. I mean, I guess it could be true. Like how the women and men will inherit the land equally, as living in the same household or nearby each other would probably make things easier. Land is finite, after all. Furthermore, I have been wondering, why do you have so many sisters when there is already an eldest son? It might be because my second brother passed away. Oh, what happened to him? I'm not sure since I've never met him. My parents didn't talk about him much. All I remember hearing is that he got sick and weakened over some months before eventually passing away. Interesting. Now that you mention it, why haven't your sisters been married off yet? My guess is it's because we're so poor that no one would want to marry us. I think Father had some connections he tried to get for my older sisters, but our kind of status usually makes for the least desirable choice. I don't blame other families for wanting better for their children. And how did these arrangements make you feel? I was perfectly fine with being at home and helping Mom. I always thought it was one of the perks of being one of the youngest, honestly. So then An was quite a surprise to you, huh? Why did he choose you over other potential subjectively better brides? Because he thought I was stupid? Who knows? I apologize for bringing up difficult memories. My curiosity knows no bounds. It's fine. It's definitely a little easier to talk to you sometimes about this stuff. Not with Jinhai. My hands curl in the hem of my dress. I haven't had the courage to tell her what happened before you brought me here. I see. Does that mean you prefer me over her then? You two are just so different. That's not how it is at all. I'm always more relaxed around Jinhai, but unlike myself, she will not judge you harshly, though I feel you are already aware of this. She always tells me it's okay whenever I'm ready. A saint she may be, but you should not keep her waiting. Ai fixes me with an unreadable stare. What is it? If you one day come to desire change from the past, then perhaps your feelings will also change. It is merely food for thought. I'll keep that in mind. Do so. It is quite late. How is your stomach feeling? Better. Thanks for taking my mind off of it. She nods at me. Run along to bed now. I will see you in the morning. Good night, Ai. Sleep well. May your dreams be pleasant for once. All right. I said I'd do an hour and a half. It's basically been an hour and a half. I feel like using this slide as an ending is just a nice, solid ending. So it's roughly been an hour and a half. We'll wrap up here. And we shall continue next time. And next time we'll probably see Lynn learning more writing and swimming. So she is going to learn to write and swim, and we'll see some cute little scenes with that. This was the cooking episode, apparently. We got lots of cooking in this one. All right, so we'll wrap up here. Let's just make it aesthetic. I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna walk away. Okay, this seems like a nice little aesthetic panel to end on. We shall end here. And we'll pick up next time as Lynn and the rest of them just enjoy each other's company. Which sounds like a very vague summary, but I don't know. I enjoy their interactions, so I think it's quite nice just seeing them living together and learning from each other.